Good morning, everyone. This is Chris around the ATL. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. I am doing this, and hopefully I'll get a chance to post it before I get too busy at work. I'm posting this directly to the YouTube channel. Hopefully, again, it goes through because signal is not always great where I work at. Some of you have a misnomer on what development actually is. And I can tell by what people are saying, okay? So I'm going to give you, again, like I always like to do, I'm going to give you a secular example, okay? And then I'm going to bring up players, okay? Man, I'm sweating. So, first of all, development, okay? Development means you have a skill or ability that's natural, okay, that over a period of time gets better, okay, because you have somebody assisting you in getting better at it. That means somebody has to be with you. Someone has to be on the job with you, on the floor, on deck, in the field. And you're practicing something over and over again. You're honing something that's there. You're giving suggestions on how to get better at an aspect of something that you're naturally talented at. But there's a presence there. Okay? Working with the Braves, I use the Braves a lot as an example. So working with the Braves for 2 seasons. The season before, I was a supervisor. Okay, and I had a lot of responsibilities there to make sure that every game, everything went all right. Okay, a lot of people counted on me. A lot of people looking for me all the time. Where's Chris? Where's Chris? Where's Chris? We need Chris. Okay. Year 2 opened up SunTrust Park. That's what it was called before it was called Truist Park. And that was a brand new stadium. So yeah, a lot of different things going on there, a lot of it technology related and stuff like that. The manager that hired me also went over to the new stadium, but he ended up getting fired. Okay. So I took it upon myself to try to make sure that everything would still go smoothly, even though we're running without a manager on the floor for a period of time until they find someone to replace him. Okay. So I took it upon myself to make sure that certain things were going to go right, no matter what. All right. Now, whether it was a particular department or a particular individual, guess what? I'm responsible now. So, if one person, okay, that I feel, you know what? I think this person could be doing more, but they need to know more for them to develop, to get better, to get the responsibility. Guess what I have to do? I have to go and sit with that person, pull them aside so they're not in front of everybody, and we discuss, hey, listen, I noticed this, I noticed that, but if you can start doing this and start doing that, I can start giving you a little bit more responsibility. I can give you a little bit more leeway in this and that and the third. Because I can see you doing this and that and the third. And in fact, you know how you do this? This is how you actually need to do it. Let me show you. I'm going to work with you for a while. So whatever aspect on the floor it was, I'm there because I'm responsible. The only way you can learn is to actually teach it. I can't assume that you know what you're doing. Same thing in sales. If it was a sales floor thing, hey, I just heard you with that particular customer. Next time, instead of doing this, maybe do that. Instead of asking this question that way, ask this question this way and see how that goes. If it's customer service, hey, I noticed that your time is pretty high. I'm gonna sit with you for some calls. I'm gonna listen, and then I'm gonna give you some suggestions. that's development. And to see a person's time go from 14 minutes a call to 9 minutes a call, that's a huge difference, isn't it? I say, thank you, Chris. I appreciate those suggestions because I like it. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I appreciate that, Chris. See, that's development. Okay? Now, that's in the secular world. When it's in sports, what does development mean? I know what you think it means. It means if someone's scoring this many points the year before and they're scoring this many points the year after, that's development. No, that's not development. That's probably just getting more minutes. I can show you how. NAW, for instance, coming off the bench a year ago, right? Getting 7.5 shots a game off the bench. His minutes went up a little bit this year. It wasn't a huge increase as a starter because he was getting decent minutes off the bench in Minnesota. What changed was his field goal attempts. He's shooting 15 shots a game this year, sometimes more. He wasn't a bad player in Minnesota. He was actually pretty good. He was solid. He was going to be coming off the bench here in Atlanta. Remember that. Per Trae Young, he was coming to Atlanta because of Trae Young. I talked to Trae Young. He talked to me. I wanted to come here because of that. That's why I'm here. He also said in an interview, I don't like the fact that Trae Young's getting the criticism he was getting when he came back and we were losing because we played bad. The Hawks played bad. Wasn't Trae Young playing bad. I'm going to show that in a video later on tonight. Okay? There was one game he played bad in. That last game against the Knicks. He played horrible in that last game as a Hawk. He played bad. He sure did. Those other games he wasn't playing bad. I'll show y'all because some of you don't watch games. But NAW's shot selection went up because he was starting. But he was supposed to come off the bench. Okongwu is also supposed to come off the bench this year because we had Porzingis. Neither of those things ended up happening because of injuries. Both Okongwu and NAW started. Now, Okongwu, yes, his three-point percentage went up, 37%. Cool. But his rebounding and defense went down. His field goal percentage from the floor went down, which shouldn't happen, but that went down. His defense went down. He was not the defender he was a year ago. Went down. His rebounding went down. If we had the Okongwu that finished the last 2 months of last season, we win at least one more game versus the Knicks. Again, we should have beat the Knicks. We didn't play no defense and couldn't hit shots when we needed them. Dyson Daniels, and I showed this, and I actually have episodes that I talked about this. Dyson Daniels, coming off the bench the year before, was already a defender. He was already a playmaker on defense coming off the bench. He was getting 1.5 steals a game coming off the bench. Then he got a chance to start and continue to do the same things. Now, if you want to believe that someone is developing, why did his three-point percentage crash from 34% to 19%? Because you can't have it both ways, can you? His three-point percentage should have went up, right? If he was working with anybody, if the coach was helping out, working on the jump shot at all. But defense-wise, he was there. He was already doing these things. He was starting now. You lead the league in deflections and steals because now you got the start minutes to do it. Can't do that coming off the bench, can you? Nope. That's just a fact. Because this is why I've always asked, what are our assistant coaches doing? See, if you are the head coach and you bring in development coaches, Now I can credit you for some development. But we don't have that here in Atlanta. We've never had it. We've never had a big man coach, right? We've never had a defensive coach. Because why can't we still not play the pick and roll? Why can't we rotate? I posted a clip the other day, well, last night, I believe, of just San Antonio just rotating. We can't do that. And you can't say that there's an excuse this year not to do it because someone hadn't played since December 27th and we still can't rotate. We can't switch. We can't fight through a pick. We don't know how to get back on defense. We don't know how to stop the ball on a fast break. Game 1 of the NBA playoffs versus the Knicks, we gave up 22 fast break points. We lost game 1 by 11. I'm angry and upset because we should have beat the Knicks. We could have beat the Knicks. And we didn't beat the Knicks. So let's get to Mouhamed Gueye, because y'all swear he's the best player of all time. Y'all want to sign him to a contract extension based off of 5 points a game and barely 4 rebounds a game. Shooting 40-something% from the floor as a big. Shooting 29% from 3. I've literally showed y'all, I don't know how many times, I'll show it to you again. Just one game example of Mouhamed Gueye missing 3 after 3 after 3. And Anthony Davis, playing with the Dallas Mavericks at the time, let him shoot. The times he was guarding him, he just let him shoot. He didn't come out there to contest it because he knew he wasn't going to hit it. We lost that game by 2 points. That's 12 points by one player. Shots don't go in because guess what? We say that shots don't matter in Atlanta. Hitting shots don't matter. Missing shots don't matter. It don't matter. The person passing the ball should have known not to pass Mouhamed Gueye the ball. That's what y'all are saying. Not, well, Mouhamed Gueye should get better at hitting the open jumper. Or maybe he should get better at other aspects of basketball if he can't shoot. He's real tall. 3 seasons, and all we can get is 5 points a game sometimes? Well, Chris, what about that 16-point game? What about the 12 games of 5 points? Guess what? If we could have gotten a performance like Dylan Harper is giving the San Antonio Spurs as a rookie, maybe we could have beat the Knicks. Because guess what? Mouhamed Gueye got size. He could have offset the size advantage that the New York Knicks have over the Hawks anyway. But we couldn't get that. How many minutes did Mouhamed Gueye play? If he's so developed, how come coach ain't playing him? If he's so developed, how come coach ain't playing him? Can you answer me that? Because you can't have it both doggone ways. Do you understand this concept yet? Who is Mouhamed Gueye better on the New York Knicks or the San Antonio Spurs? Go from their starting lineup, go to their 6th, 7th, and 8th man, and keep going. Who is he better than? Outright better than. Somewhat better than. And if that's true, whoever you think he is, how come Mouhamed Gueye wasn't playing more? How come he wasn't a difference maker? We gotta wait 5 more years for him to be a difference maker? What are we talking about? I'm sorry. You're clinging on to players who aren't that good. And it's time to stop the madness, to believe we've had all this help over the years. Again, you think Niang, Caris, I am not your Casanova, LeVert, and Terrence Mann are better than a full season of Jalen Johnson playing 30 minutes, a full season of NAW playing starting minutes and getting more shots, and better than 20 games of Kuminga. You think those players are better? And again, 2021 playoffs. Argue with me that Kevin Huerter is better than Dyson Daniels, that Hunter is better than NAW, and John Collins is better than Jalen Johnson. I like John Collins, but he's not better than Jalen Johnson. He's just not. But that's the team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And we went without Hunter playing. After the first round, Hunter wasn't available anymore. And we still got to the Eastern Conference Finals. You don't know what development means, or you don't care. And you can't prove any of it. I can show you game footage. You don't have to believe anything I say. I can show you game film, which I have done a lot. That's the only thing that matters. You can't change what happens on the court, guys. The Atlanta Hawks didn't lose those games when Trae came back because of Trae Young. We lost those games because people weren't doing their jobs enough. You can't have Trae Young out there and Jalen Johnson averaging 30 apiece in games and then blame Trae Young. We didn't lose those games because Trae Young was on the floor. I showed y'all that Bulls game, didn't I? That was early in the season. I showed y'all that game. And I showed you who gave up the most points in that game. And you didn't want to acknowledge it. I showed you who gave up the most points in that game. I should post that game up. I haven't posted that game up in a while. Because that shows you. You don't want to talk about the actual issues. You want to make up something that ain't there. And it's never been there. Wemby, I'm not on Trae Young's level yet when it comes to being a villain in New York. I'm not on Trae Young's level. Trae Young took New York's soul in that first round. That bow. I ain't there yet. I've only won one game. Trae Young won a series. Wemby hadn't won the series yet. He's won one game in New York in the playoffs. It's the finals, though. It's one game. He has to win 3 more to knock out the Knicks. Don't know if it's going to happen, but they got one, right? Trae Young did that in his 3rd season. Never been in the playoffs before. His 3rd season. And he took a team that had no business, everybody said had no business being there, and they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They won game 1 of each of their playoff series. And the only reason they didn't end up knocking out the Bucks because he got hurt. Although I keep saying, if the Hawks had played like they did in Game 4 and Game 5, we still beat the Bucks. But we didn't. So we lost Game 5, we lost Game 6. What are they doing out here? So I'm going to be talking about this. I'm going to be bringing up some stuff. I'm going to show y'all seasons of games. I'm going to show y'all some games. I'm going to break them down to you. I'm going to break them down in a way everybody can understand. Here are the 10 games that Trae Young played. Okay? Here are the games. I'm even going to show you the game where the first couple of games where he was on minutes restrictions. I'm going to show you those games too. And I'm going to show you what everybody did. And I'm going to ask you, tell me how Trae Young lost this game. I want you to explain it to me. Because maybe you can convince me after I show you. But I'm going to show you what everybody did. I'm going to show you fast break points. I'm going to show you points in the paint. I'm going to show you 3-point. I'm going to show you everything. All those games, I'm going to ask you again, show me how Trae Young lost the games and nobody else was responsible for playing basketball. It is 1 on 12 again. I'm going to show you the games the previous season that Jalen Johnson and Trae Young played together. And then I'm going to show you the last 20 plus games of the 2024 season. I'm going to show you what everybody else was doing on the team. I'm going to show you what Trae Young and Okongwu was doing, and I'm going to show you what everybody else is doing on the team. Now, again, I want you to tell me, how is it this one player's fault? I want you to explain it to me. Because you have to show me. You can't just keep saying stuff out loud and think it's true. You want it to be true, but it ain't. You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. Like Marlo from The Wire used to say. seeing an email about nothing. There's a lot of people in the parking lot. But anyway, be looking out for this. Again, subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page because I got like 3 episodes coming back to back to back because you need to be shown these things. A lot of people don't watch games. It's just so obvious. They just make up stuff and they think that no one can, that nobody's going to counter what they say out loud with actual facts. And they believe that they can just ignore facts. And I'm like, I'm not going to let you ignore actual factual information. You can't change what happens in the game. You can't do it. You can't change what happens in the ball game. You can't change what actually happens in a ball game. You want to do it, but you can't. And I'm going to show it to you once again because you need to see it. Because it's crazy what people are saying right now. Y'all really think Muhammad Gay is the best thing since, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody. Adam Keefe? He was picked 10th in the draft. Oh, well, Chris, you can't expect to play. So again, you want to talk about where Muhammad Gay was drafted, but then you want to say development. Like, where is it in that? How many more years do we have to wait to get the best of Muhammad Gay? Because we've lost 3 seasons of him supposedly being able to become something that he ain't. How come Hunter didn't develop into what he was supposed to be? If we had development of any kind here. Oh, well, Chris, that was before Snyder. Well, he was here part of Snyder's year before he got traded. How come Snyder didn't help him out and get him better? Oh, he finally made a decision to bench him? I gave him credit for that because I was like, if that's the only way he can score 19 points a game against the twos, dang, we should have did that 5 years ago. Right? I said that. We didn't know that, though. He was supposed to be able to do this against the ones, which I've been saying since jump. He should have been giving us 19 a game from day one because he has all the skills and abilities to do it. He can hit an open jumper. He is strong. He is not weak. He can hit free throws. And if he ever applied himself as a defender, he would get all the extra points on the defensive side of the ball from steals, running the floor, all those things. Rebounds. He doesn't even rebound for his size. He should be getting 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds a game. He barely gives you 4. And that's a barely. Y'all didn't care about that. Who has Hunter ever stopped? He's never has been the best defender on his own team. He's never led anything defensively on his own team. He was never a first or second team all-defensive player. He was never a defensive player of the year candidate. We didn't get that until we got Dyson. Who, oh, well, nobody could play defense next to Trae Young. Dyson almost won defensive player of the year next to Trae Young. And you can't say nothing about that. Well, it's just luck, Chris. Right? The last time we had anybody on the defensive player, all-defensive team was Paul Millsap. He was second team. When was the last time Paul Millsap played on the Hawks? That's all I got to say about that. A lot of y'all don't know these things, though, because you don't care. You just talk with no proof or evidence of anything. And that's crazy to me. But I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it again because you need to know. We have not been good enough because we have not had enough players. We've had guys. We've had great players and good players and not enough to back those guys up. We are having to hope and pray that certain players do more, do better. And when they don't, you blame the best players on the team. Not the actual players that are failing at their jobs. And all these other teams get actual players that can actually help their team win. How do they keep getting all these players in the Hawks? Never can figure it out. Never can figure it out. Decades of not figuring it out. We literally drafted Adam Keefe at 10. Sheldon Williams at 5. We did that. and you look at all the drafts that the Hawks have ever had, and you look at the players that were drafted around them, you look at all the free agencies, and you look at the moves the Hawks have made, and you look at what the moves of other teams have made within the same division, within the same conference over the last however many years, we had no clue what we were doing, and it wasn't about winning. It was just about getting up and down the court. Who cares what the score is? Jeff T don't care about winning, don't care about outcomes of games. He's just out there. He just spit in the faces of every fan and all of his teammates as a Hawk. And y'all don't care. Y'all will defend him because you have the loser mentality. You don't care about winning. Everybody who heard that should immediately have been incensed, anger, and everything. And all I hear is, oh, well, that's life. Everybody has a choice. Just because you signed a contract don't mean you got to abide by it. And the one player who ain't said nothing but wanting to win a championship in Atlanta in 2018, you hate that guy. And again, it shows. It makes sense now that you talk the way you do. Because winning you don't care about winning. You've never cared about winning. I would never want to play basketball with any of you who think like that because you don't win. You can't win. Just frustrating. Anyway, let me go. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. Where are all these people going? And watch Around the ATL. I'll talk to you. Oh, Game 3, 2026 playoffs, Hawks versus Knicks is coming. The review. I'm behind, but I'm going to catch up. Be looking out for that as well. Peace.